Alright, let's go, guys. Group C is continuing here with the elimination match. That's right, this guy down here actually lost his first match to Solar. This is Dark. Now, we are not casting that match here on our channel, just because I've been casting so much Zerg vs. Zerg lately, and we have about 400 matches, so we are trying to just cast the very best games. So if you're following along with Group C and going, what? I want to see all the games. Sorry, guys. We only have so much time and so much schedule to cover everything. But of course, he's going to be facing off against MAXPAX in the top right, who took Clem down to the wire and was bloody close to beating him in that match, of course. I guess I've kind of spoiled it if you're watching the games out of order. Go check it out. That was a great series. Like, honestly, the back and forth and the turnarounds in that series were great. And I do try to not give spoilers and give people the warnings in case they're watching this on YouTube out of order and say, hey, go back and watch it. What can I say? I've messed it up this time, guys. But this is one of the best Zergs in the world. And he's a scrappy man. He's so good under pressure and in bad, kind of inefficient situations. He is naturally a master of chaos in that Dark rolls with the punches and is comfortable in chaotic spots. That being said, MAXPAX kind of is as well. I just don't know if I put MAXPAX on the level of Dark mechanically in terms of being able to adapt and kind of roll with it as quickly and as smoothly as Dark does. Now, we often talk about Dark in this matchup as the guy who counters everything that Protoss does with the Ravager. You make carriers, he's going to make Ravagers. You make mass voids, he's going to make Ravagers. You make disruptors, Ravagers, other things, Ravagers. So it's kind of the way. It's kind of the way that he does it. And of course, guys, let's try and avoid spoilers in the live chat, whether it be for Super Tournament, which was just on less than 12 hours, about 12 hours ago. A lot of people, of course, were sleeping at that time. They haven't had a chance to catch up. So let's try and not do spoilers of tournaments that have just happened right afterwards, especially when it's at such a weird time zone. A day and a half later, it's totally fine. But just because there are a lot of people who tune in. So no harm, no foul for people who weren't aware of that. But just a heads up. Same with this tournament. Of course, I'm casting this off replays after the live event. And same thing there. So if someone wants to run predictions, they can. But any predictions run live, any gambling we do during the live stream for these sort of games, where obviously people can just Google the outcome, is going to be something where it has to be how many workers does Dark kill 40 workers or 50 workers above or below 40 workers? Like, it's got to be dumb gambles. So I don't know if any of the mods are willing to run silly gambling on guessing units lost. Will it be above or below 50,000 resources lost for each side? Who will lose more resources, that sort of thing. Give it a go if you guys feel like it, but I'm very excited to see where this one goes because MAXPAX is a master of Sky Toss and he plays a very Korean style of Sky Toss as that first Void Ray pops up. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, similar to Zest, MAXPAX will look to kill you. So if he can roll in with Void Ray Carrier, some Zealots, some Archons, some Disruptors, and just kill you while you're trying to max out, then he'll go for it. He'll see what he can do. And that's a really good start. Already gets a drone for free there. Dark? How did he not have a queen out? Oh, she's just standing over there. What the hell? Dark, you lazy bugger. See, this is the thing. Sometimes Dark's openings are a little sloppy. Normally, it's not the micro like that. Like, just leaving a queen, not guarding the mineral line. But sometimes he does just have these kind of strange little twists and turns in the openings. Put him in a bit of an odd spot. The problem is, you kind of don't want to punch Dark in the face. Because like I said, his openings can be sloppy. It's kind of like if you watch one of those movies where it's almost like you punch the guy in the face and it actually wakes him up. You almost want to let him just be inefficient and then, like, not fight him. Because the moment you start beating him and he's aware he's being beaten, that's when Dark kind of, like, switches on. You see his eyes open wide, his pupils dilate. He does his barbarian rage and he just starts picking you up and smashing you across the ground, It's like a bloody full-on troll ogre rage or some shit like that. He really just gets out of control if he realizes he's a little behind. Oracle comes in. Oracle does beat a queen on its own. Problem is it takes a while to kill it. Good chance another queen comes over and assists. And even if you get that queen, if you lose the Oracle for it, it is a great trade for the Zerg, bad trade for you. I do like the Void Ray coming in. Normally you come in, focus a drone or two, run away, and then that distracts enough for the Oracle to come in from a different angle. Spore Crawler is, of course, up there in the main, hidden under the Overlord. Already going for a lair. Oh my god! Guys, this is the fastest lair ever. What is this build? Is he rushing mutas? Is this the fastest mutas of all time? Guys, Dark is... I think he knows that MAXPAX just plays Sky Toss and is just going to poke with Oracle Void Ray and nothing else. No, it's a Chad Ray Annihilator, but with so many drones. Oh, this is too many drones for a Chad Ray Annihilator. Okay, so guys, a Chad Ray Annihilator is a mass Queen Zergling Nidus. You're meant to do that off about 40 drones, max 45. He's doing it off 3 full mineral lines. Now, that does give it great transition power in that he can drone up behind it. But if he doesn't kill the third or, like, pop a sneaky Nidus in the main, it's going to be really hard. And his Zergling count's just not that great right now. So Dark here doing Dark things, which is an attack which doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's so far out of the meta that I don't know if MAXPAX is going to realize this is what's happening. That Nidus is over to the right. He has no idea. He sees a very quick lair and that Overseer coming up into the main. He's putting a pylon down. Great awareness by MAXPAX. I mean, he needed the pylon anyway, but he's making sure there's no holes in his vision. And I think, yeah, he's going to have to pop the Nidus on the front to get started. Void, the Zerglings need to go the other direction. Oh, if he ran to the top, that would have led the Void Ray into vision. He sees it. MAXPAX sees it, and he's going to get that down. I think the Queens will be able to transfuse, maybe. Where's the Prismatic Alignment? A little slow to activate. Oh, I think that's worth it. The Void Rays could overwhelm that, but wait, no. Where are the other Void Rays? They're not here just yet. This is going up, guys. Cannons and batteries are here. Got to turn that chat message privacy back on, don't I? I love how people just hunt you down to the game and send messages. There's no way to break cannon battery here with just Queen Ling, but a Baneling Nest is coming in behind this. It feels like more of an afterthought than anything else, though, guys. I don't know about this. Uh-oh, Nidus in the back. He's sending one Void Ray to deal with it. Will that be enough? I think it will. Stalker goes down. But the cannon battery, as long as he gets a few more cannons spread across his third, he should be okay. Oh, no, 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 no. If Queen gets a transfuse out, this could be huge. Even a few Zerglings is a bit of a problem there. They're going to kill a handful of Zerglings. Units at the front doing what they can. The Void Ray will clean it up. Just 4 probes, so not the end of the world there. Should go hunt down that Overseer. He knows there's a spotter back there. He's going to see if he can catch it. Doesn't catch it. The Overseer evades. Void Rays at the front there. They're going to try and pull back. The Chad Ray Annihilator has not found an opening. And the longer this goes, with MAXPAX up 10 workers, massing cannons and Void Rays, the worse this gets. It's already 6 Void Rays to 12 Queens. If he can get up to similar Void Ray numbers, it's going to be really bad. And the aim here is for the Void Rays to focus the Banelings down, guys. Notice he clicks on 1, 2, 3. 2 of the Banelings have gone down. The Banelings can't really find anything dark. I mean, I told you guys this is an inefficient and nonsensical attack. And the thing is, that's what's really good about it, is it's hard to read. But MAXPAX did spot the first Nidus, and that was so important, because that slowed this down. Ooh, he actually gets a Void Ray there, but with the battery overcharge, Queen does pay the price for that. Got to be careful. I do like the creep on the front, the spores as well. He's still just massing Queens, Lings, and Banes. MAXPAX needs to keep spreading cannons, because the trick, guys, is Banelings do bonus damage to buildings, 80 damage, and if cannons are clumped up, Banelings there will kill 3 cannons. So he's got to blow up the Banelings here in the middle, and he goes for it. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Those were way too clumped. Ooh, a few probes do go down, as does a pylon. The cannon's doing okay, but they're starting to get overwhelmed. Stalker's warping in. Now, the reason he's warping in Stalkers, guys, is he wants long-range units that can fight the Queens without going into range of them. Void Ray on the top drives into a Spore Crawler and does die. Who the hell gave that Void Ray pilot a license? This is actually getting really messy right now. There has still not really been a transition from Dark. He built a few drones, but that was it. Oracle on the other side is just standing there with a drone. They're meeting eye contact, and I don't know, maybe it's a Romeo and Juliet situation. The Oracle and the drone both just trapped in an eternal tale of love. He's whispering sweet nothings. The drone there is like, oh my god, you're such a charmer, Mr. Oracle. And yeah, shit's getting weird. Disruptors are now on the way, so this should be a complete hold for MAXPAX. Dark should not be able to salvage this. This should be game over from here. He should be way behind. The Disruptor shot, though, only hits a single Queen. Of course, he's too busy microing his Void Rays on the bottom. Prismatic Alignment to get rid of that Spore, I think, is the play here for MAXPAX. I'd love to see him just tap that Spore Crawler down. And he does it, yeah, before the transfuse could even land. Does lose a Void Ray for it, though. Damn, Dark is quick. And Dark's on 16 Queens still. And he's starting to drone up. So I think Dark's going to take a 4th base behind this. And he's going to try and transition off of this and salvage a very weird situation. Oh, Disruptor gets 4 Queens and a pack of the Banes. Oh my god, and the Queen's walking in. Okay, Banelings get in the mineral line. He gets 5 probes there, which is not terrible. But I think now, finally, with no Zerglings supporting, the Queens have to get the hell out of there. They do get home, though, which is very important. And this is the advantage of a Nidus versus Queen Walk, is your Queens actually get to go home. Whereas there's a point with a Queen Walk, if the fight turns against you, your Queens are stuck on that side of the map. They can't get back off creep. But with the Nidus, he's able to pop those home. He drops the Spire, does not have an Evo chamber. He's only at 56 workers. For MAXPAX, the most important thing for him to do right now, guys, is to take a 4th base there, clear up the creep while he's doing that, and go straight for I would say, carriers would be the play here. He's already got 9 Void Rays. carriers in my move is checkmate, because if you go +2 air weapon, 6 carrier timing, maybe even a 4 carrier timing, I don't think there's any way for Dark to defend it. Now, MAXPAX is not opting for that. Instead, he's going for the charge Archon. So he wants to have just more of a ground army, plus the Void Rays, plus the Disruptors, and just he also wants to take the fight over there straight away. I mean, this should be a winning equation anyway, right? I mean, Queens kick the shit out of the Void Rays. So that's the problem, is right now he can poke around, but he can't really commit to a fight. If MAXPAX commits in here, he will lose pretty badly. MAXPAX, get out of there. That's a really bad fight right now. Disruptor's getting flanked by the Zerglings. Good Disruptor shot. Kills his own Immortal! It looked like a good Disruptor shot to zone, but he kills his own Immortal. A little sloppy. I don't think the Immortal's that important. And the Prism is here. We've got enough gas for 3 Archons, and can, of course, add Zealots behind that. There are no cannons in the main. Oh, no. Oh no, no cannons in the main. I mean, obviously the 3rd and the Natural are both defended. The 4th base is looking a little exposed. Archons are going to be the key unit here. Archons, Zealots, wreck Queens. Archons wreck Zerglings and Banelings. What have you got to defend? Queens, Zerglings, and Banelings. He's got a lot of units though, and the Queens are so tanky that they can definitely just buy a lot of time. I think you want to wait for another warp in or 2 as MAXPAX right now. Double Disruptor shot kills 2 Queens. I like this. Posture in, throw 2 Disruptors, get the hell out of there. But he's got to watch out as well, because there will be Ling Baneling flanks from behind. Void Ray, Archon, Stalk are doing really great versus those Queens, especially off creep. A few Banelings flank in. They don't really get much done. So many slow Banelings. He's still not making Baneling speed. Dark, it's just... I'm like, is he for real not making Baneling speed right now? Dark there tries to do the Chad Ray Annihilator with a lot more drones than normal. Hits a little bit later than normal, and does try to add Banelings in behind it. A very cute way of making it happen, but... MAXPAX does not let any of the really scary Nidus Worms get up in the base, and he takes map 1. Alright everybody, what's up? Game number 2 here, of course. Map 1 went to MAXPAX. We are going to be going into a very small map though, and I would say this one favors this boy, because he can walk his Queens across this map to great effect. It is Dark. Lots of surprise Ravagerling attacks as well. I mean, I say mention walking your Queens. I mean, I guess the real thing is you won't get to see that, right? If you're playing at noob level, or anyone who's not pro, this map is terrible for Skytoss because of that Queen walk. But that's why MAXPAX, very unlikely he goes for it. He might. Maybe he's as brave as Zest. Zest will often do that and just not give a shit and go for the Void Rays, despite this map having a tiny walking distance and a very wide open 3rd that can get attacked. But I imagine we'll see a Glaive Adept opening out of MAXPAX, probably into Disruptor drop. And he's going to look for efficiency. So MAXPAX, usually when he goes for his Adepts, he very rarely does a Zound style, I'm going to cut a bunch of probes and hit you with a crazy fast attack. Much more likely is MAXPAX to simply say, you know what, I am going to get my 8 Adepts out, shade him in, you've got plenty of units, no worries, cancel it. And he's just going to rotate around, drop his Prism, try to pick off a drone here or there, try to force more units, make his opponent uncomfortable. And behind that, MAXPAX will already have his 4 gases up, go up into Disruptor drop, 3rd base, and kind of work it from there into, like, you know, that Stalker Sentry Disruptor style, Stalker Sentry Colossus. I would imagine that's what we expect from MAXPAX. Of course, this is jumping ahead a little bit, as he does go Cybercore before Nexus. That's interesting, guys. Now, Cybercore before Nexus, this is going to be very useful for 2 things. Number 1, you can defend like a pool first if they come across with 6 Zerglings. Now, he knows that's not the case. He's seen Hatchery first. He hasn't actually seen the gas and pool, but he knows it's there because he saw the Hatchery timing. So why would you go Cybercore and delay your Nexus? Doesn't this hurt your economy? Yes, it does. Just a little bit, but only a tiny bit. He's messed up. He's built his 2nd gas before his 2nd pylon. Oh, MAXPAX. That's some noob shit right there. The whole point here is that you can chrono 2 Adepts ASAP. But look, guys, his pylon's 5 seconds late because he built his units in the wrong order. He's meant to be chronoing 2 Adepts for a very fast double Adept pressure. MAXPAX messing up his opening here. And remember, this is the elimination match. This is the losers match between these two. So there's no room for error. After such a good call in game 1 and a good hold, I'm very, I think, just a little bit triggered on behalf of MAXPAX, because the whole point of getting the Cybercore for the Nexus, before the Nexus, is basically counteracted by him then messing up his follow-up structures. And you can see he's not even going to bother. He's just going to go 1 Adept into 1 Stalker now. He does, of course, have that Twilight Council up as well. And the Adept will poke across the map, maybe a few seconds earlier than a normal Adept, but not by much. And I think this map being so short, it's amazing to press across this map with double Adept. That being said, Dark has played pretty respectful. What do I mean by that, guys? Notice his link speed will be kicking in just about 30 seconds. Oh, MAXPAX, go to defend the probes, boy. And he will be able to do just that. Zergling in the main base going to go after some others as well. How good is the multitasking of MAXPAX? Looks like he didn't lose anything. Just killed that with the probes. Adept doesn't lose its life either, but that did distract him from doing damage. So the Adept wasn't actually in there picking off units, and now he's already lost his shields before entering. He's only going to get a single Zergling, and not even that. Well played by Dark. And Dark, he's got 3 hatcheries up. He's looking rock solid so far. Now, does he go for the Roach Warren second gas right on 325, 330? Yes, he does. It's a very quick Roach Warren. It's a great way of playing it, guys. I really like this. He hasn't taken a second gas just yet, though. So that's curious. Oh, actually, Dark does like the 1 gas response, doesn't he? So he just puts back on gas real early and had left one on. And no, he does take a second gas just a little bit later. Okay, interesting. Now he's going to stop on about 40 drones and build a bunch of roaches. Now this response, if he can realize that there's no DT follow-up and skip the spore crawlers, this is like such a shutdown and the Zerg gets way ahead, usually. But that is a big if. And how do you as Dark know that there's no DT shrine? I mean, look at Dark's vision, guys. He has no idea. He saw there's a Twilight, he saw there's a Robo, but does he know there's no DTs behind the glaives? He has no idea about that. His lair is naturally very late with this build order, and you see he has to go for a safety spore in the main. Hasn't put one down at the other bases. There we go. One there in the third. He's only going to put a spore in 2 of the bases. Of course, you can shuffle spores around very quickly. So let's see what he does there. And remember, look at that. I told you guys he's going to play straight into disruptors. MAXPAX does not like to commit hard. Similar to when he does 4-gate blink, he likes to force a response, chip away at his opponent, doesn't like to commit too hard. He's only got 7 adepts so far, so he doesn't warp in the 8th one. He was just a little short of the money there. Shield battery in the wall off does go down. The reason people like to take this front third as Protoss guys is shield batteries can heal from the high ground, and you can even overcharge it into this little pocket. This pocket here is the most defensible point for the Protoss player on this map if they are defending, say, a big Roachling attack later on. Ravager's going to come out. Ravagers with their mobility, basically the same speed as a Roach, with Roach speed, very close to that. And their 6 range does push the Adepts back pretty far. This is going to allow Dark to go back into droning. He's already built a couple of drones. Of course, Evo Chamber goes down and building another Overlord. He's a little supply. He's building a lot of Zergans. Is he just going to go for a giant Ling Ravager attack? If he gets a surround on the Adepts and lands big biles on him, it can be big. And if the Adepts stop warping in, it can also be really effective. So MAXPAX, he doesn't realize he's being kind of all in right now. This is just a crazy commitment to units. Those Adepts are going down. Oh, nice pullback to the choke point, but they do still get surrounded. Those Adepts will go down very quickly. Adepts in the main, 2 Adepts shade in behind the third. That's where the real damage, I think, could be happening. These Adepts in the main, though, the Zerglings are on top of them. They'll trade out decently. Adepts on the third are where the real damage could potentially happen, but nah. This is all things considered a fantastic hold for Dark, and that's 8 Adepts for what? 7 drones, 18 Zerglings. Very good fight for Dark, who still got 34 Lings and 3 Ravagers. I mean, work account's pretty close to even. Third base only now going down at the 6-minute mark. How many Disruptors we got on the field? 1. Second one's about to be out. He's going to go home and pick those up. And of course, the Gravitic Drive, that is the Warp Prism speed, is going to join up with that as well. Stalker does get the high ground vision, but Dark quickly says I can save that if I just morph an Overseer. Of course, guys, due to the power of Zerg magic, similar to Protoss bullshit magic, units, when they turn into a new unit, suddenly come out with full hit points because of Zerg unexplainable bullshit. What can I say? Don't really have an answer for that one. Don't think the game designers do either. Oh, we get extra armor when we're morphing a Ravager Cocoon. Don't know why. Also, magically back on full hit points when it finishes. I'm like, what is getting chopped apart? What is getting hit? You just create a giant carapace fucking armor cocoon? I don't understand. How does this work? Anyways, only 1 Adept there right now. That's a lot of Zerglings. Uh-oh, great counterattack from Dark coming in. Adept Disruptor on the front is very cute, but you gotta keep that third up, buddy. Oh, he ain't gonna keep that third up. That a dead third base. Queens go after the Prism. He's gonna try and throw some balls forward, but the Queens are actually doing a really good job here. Ball does zone out the Ravagers, gets, ooh, big whiff. The Prism does fly back, and this army cancels the Shade. That was a very good cancel on the Shade. Gets most of these Queens. Third base is dead, as well as 7 probes. That's a lot of damage. These Adepts cannot afford to go down right now. And where are those balls? Okay, those 2 balls, the firm set will be the thing that covers him from the Roaches and the Ravagers coming in. The Zerglings, though, going to be powerful, and as Roach speed and +1 kicks in, he's going to be able to potentially swarm over this army, not to mention the Spire has just finished. Doesn't have a lot of gas, so I think for now it's just focus on the Roaches. There we go. Loses 2 Roaches to a Disruptor shot. That's not the end of the world. Zerglings engaging kind of piecemeal here, though. Oh, this is kind of scary for Dark. Only hits 1 Roach there, though. And the Adepts are going to have to just fight against these Zerglings. Move and shoot, move and shoot's the name of the game. And he's going to try and fire one more Disruptor shot. Comes off cooldown in a moment. Still got a shot that he could present here. And come on. Finally does drop that out. He's still warping into depths though, guys. And there's 6 mutas on the way. That could be checkmate. I think that attack on the third base, just that Zergling run by, you know, MAXPAX wanted to be the one pressuring with his entire army. He gave up a little bit of map vision during that. The fact there's an Overlord just sitting there seeing everything as well. And I mean, if this Prism gets shut down by the mutas, and yeah, that should be his first target, but Speed Prism's pretty fast. Hit the NOS, man. Adepts are going to shade home. 2 Adepts will go into the main. He's going to try and make Blink and Cannons and Stalkers and stuff. He's going to try probably just move Stalkers between his base to defend it, but it's only 6 mutas. Is there hope? I guess there is. I feel like it's just a disaster trying to micro against these mutas as they come in. He's going to drop his Disruptors there. There's no Stalkers in the third, and as soon as you bring your Stalkers down to defend the third, guess what? He goes straight into that main base, and there's no battery in that main base, guys. The muta's focusing down these units really well. He gets 7, 8 workers, 9 workers. 3 Stalkers will warp in the main, and with the help of a cannon, should defend that for now. MAXPAX is not dead, miraculously keeping himself alive in this game. Oh, man. Okay, Roachlings there. We've got Adept Stalker, some Disruptors coming forward. He's got 3 Disruptors, which is very cool. He's going to try and push forward, but he doesn't even have enough Stalkers to actually fight the mutas head on. And look at this flank getting set up. MAXPAX has no idea. There's a big flank ready down there. 3 balls seems powerful, but with the mutas and the Zerglings and a 360 surround, this could be a big problem for him. Disruptors throwing balls out in every single direction. Good spread on the balls, but the mutas do take down the Prism, and there's just a bit too much Roachling coming in from all sides. Dark ties it up on the map Curious Minds. Tying up the series there. That was a pretty solid game. I do love that early Ravager response to the Adepts. Didn't really let any momentum happen for his opponent. He's going to be going into Hardwire, though. It's a longer rush distance here for Dark. Representing a Dragon Phoenix Gaming, of course. His opponent in the bottom left representing Psystorm Gaming. This is MAXPAX. Neither player repping their clan tags. Forcing Oldcast and me to use my memory to remember what teams they're repping. I'm amazed that there's so many times the pros don't even play with their team tags on. I'm like, guys, are you serious? It's actually insane. Actually insane. So, what do we got? I'm just confirming their teams right now, guys. Dark, SC2. He is still Dragon Phoenix Gaming. No MAXPAX is Psystorm still, so we are good. Alright, guys. Third base being forced over there. MAXPAX, I think, is just going to play Stargate again. I've seen him especially hit a lot of those timing attacks we talked about in Game 1. The Void Ray Carrier kind of Charge-Lot Archon timing. I mean, you can do a Void Ray Charge-Lot Archon, which is actually really surprisingly powerful. You add the Disruptors, really good versus Queens, Roaches, Ravagers, Infestors. You add Carriers, good versus everything that's not Corruptors. There are some really cool things. So we got the Nexus there as well. Cybercore will go down, creating a nice double-spaced choke point, guys. What do I mean by that? I mean, these are a 3x3 space building, and he's got 2 spaces overlapping, which means he could fit 1, 2, maybe even a third Adept or Stalker in a row. So if Zerglings are trying to shove him through, very easy to position that unit correctly. Whereas if you're barely overlapping just 1 space, you've only got a little bit of space to work with. And if you're actually here with the Cybercore, where there's only a diagonal wall off, you need to be pixel perfect, or Zerglings will just run right past your Adepts in the wall. Especially because a little known factor, Adepts actually have a slightly lesser kind of collision size, this like circle around them basically, when they're attacking. Which is why you'll sometimes see it looks like the Zerglings can't get in, but if the Zerg player keeps spamming clicks, if the Zerglings try to run past as the Adept's attacking, 1 or 2 Zerglings might slip through. And then as the Adept attacks again, once again, same thing. It's kind of one of those funny little weird things. You need someone who understands the game design and the mechanics and the engine a little bit more to understand why it has a different size when it's attacking. But there's these funny little, often unintended things which add these cool little details to games. A lot of people think that's stupid, that's bad, that doesn't make sense. Most games, and especially older games, are rife with these, and they actually really reward players who are kind of studying the game and paying attention to those details. Anyways, Zerglings come in, but that Adept faked the shade out, and MAXPAX says, leave, you cheeky little shit. And he is going to shut these Zerglings down. So MAXPAX sacrifices the ability to pressure Dark, but in return, he's able to shut down the scouting, or is he? Oh, too greedy hunting that Zergling down. He lets it right in. I mean, it was going to be spotted soon enough anyway. So I guess he doesn't care too much, but still. Adept there will take out the second Zergling as well. Of course, it is Void Ray first. MAXPAX likes to hunt down that Overlord. Dark is already trying to retreat, though. So he's hitting the NOS on this Overlord, as you can see. It's kind of like trying to evade, you know, maybe like an F-18, something like that, while you're in a blimp. Some would call it a lost cause. Some would say, just start praying. It's over. Yeah. Your best hope is that they fly right past you and don't notice you because you're moving so slow. That's actually your best defense mechanism is let's hope they're not watching. That does go down. Nice little surround there. Oracle will protect the probe without even having to turn on its laser beam. Always nice when that happens. Notice the pylons creating a little choke point. The Adept can sit there next to the Nexus and guard it from the Zerglings. Quite a few Zerglings being built here for Dark, which is going to put him down on the workers. Already 7 workers behind. And this, I would argue, is very questionable. Now, what do I mean by that, guys? So I really think for you guys to understand, if you build a lot of Zerglings, you force the Oracle to stay at home a lot of the time. So if you build a lot of Zerglings, you can skip on the Spore Crawlers. But in this case, he's built plenty of Queens, up to 5, about to be 6 Queens. And he's built 2 Spore Crawlers, pretty much at a very safe timing. And he's built a pretty decent number of Zerglings at 12 Zerglings. So I feel like Dark's done a little bit of everything. And this is not something I'd recommend to a regular player out there. I think when you're someone as fluid as Dark, it's kind of okay. Because look how hard he's going back into the droning now. And he does indeed once again have a very quick lair. Not quite as fast as game 1, as that lair was finishing by this time. But still very, very quick. So I think he's able to roll with it this way and stay fluid, but definitely a dangerous habit to get into. You're like, I'm going to build Spores and Queens and also do a big Zergling pressure. Usually you'll end up down on economy significantly if you do that, unless your Zerglings find big damage. Got an Australian cultural slash language-based question in the Twitch chat. What is a Gronk? Gronk is an idiot. If you think about it, Gronk, I don't know the origins of it, but just think about it. You can imagine like a really stupid ogre in a D&D campaign being called Gronk, right? So if you call your mate, oh man, you're a friggin' Gronk. You're a Gronk, bro. It's basically like saying you're an idiot. You're a bit of a dummy. You'll call your mate a Gronk, especially after he does something stupid. And it's a fantastic word. So I don't know where it comes from. Etymologically, I like to imagine it comes from someone's D&D campaign and somehow became common usage. We've got +1 air weapons, double Void Ray on the way as well. Apparently there's a German streamer who's very popular, one of the biggest German Twitch streamers, and his name is Gronk. It's got a H in there as well, though. What are budgie smugglers? Okay, last question before we keep casting the game. Budgie smugglers is a speedo. Do you guys call it a speedo outside of, you know, like a little, basically like the little tidy-whitey, little underpants, but swimmers, you know? Little, like, you know how like middle-aged men and older, they wear like the tiny little thing and everything's hanging out? And because a budgie is like a, you know, like the little pet bird. So it looks like you're smuggling a budgie down there because, you know, you can see everything when someone's wearing like that. Yeah, banana hammock, of course, is like what the Todd would have called that back in Scrubs. Might be more common in America. So yeah, and for some reason, older men still wear it all the time because apparently they're just like, we want everyone to see everything. You know, there's something, the more men go back, the more comfortable they are with their junk being out in public. It really just shows how the times have changed. What can I say? Anyways, budgie smuggler is one of the best. Because I'm like, who thought of that? They're like, it kind of looks like he's smuggling a budgie in there, right? And you're like, I guess? Can you stop staring at that guy's junk now? They're like, no, really, it's twitching. I think there's someone, he's got his pet bird in his Speedo. It's, yeah. Anyways, guys, tangents aside, 4th base is up. We're going Corrupt to Queen. Dark is doing my least favorite strategy. So, he's going very high on the workers though, so he's going to be able to transition out of it, but I actually think it's even worse. I actually think this strategy he's doing is best when you do it as an all-in. And oh my god, there's an observer on top of him! Oh no, he has no idea there's a pervy boy that sees it. I mean, there is no excuse for getting caught out here. So as MAXPAX, you just need to build lots of cannons and batteries and focus on Void Rays. Notice, guys, he got 3 carriers out and he's gone straight back to Void Rays because he's like, look, carriers, they'll be okay at fighting the queens, but he's going to do a mass Queen Corruptor push most likely. I need to have Void Rays. Because what you want is you want to have at least 1 Void Ray for every 3 Corruptors. It's kind of like a rough ratio. 4-1 is where he's at now. That gets a bit dicey because even though the Void Ray is the hard counter to the Corruptors, for those who haven't heard about like the ant wars going on, you know, there's like those giant fire ants that came, I think, from like Brazil or something to like America, and they were fucking up all the other ants. And everyone was like, whoa, that's the king of the ants. They're going to dominate. And they were really good at warfare, and they were slowly pushing back all the other ants' territories. But then there's some other kind of ant that was like, wait, you guys take way too long to reproduce. And yes, you're big and scary, but we breed 50 times faster. And that is kind of the situation here. The Corruptors are the small new breed of ants. They're not as powerful as these big fire ants, but it doesn't matter if you're like 4-1 because you can just rip their legs off one at a time. It doesn't matter if they're bigger. These guys can outproduce. That is a lot of Corruptors. 26 Corruptors coming in. They're looking for the Stargate rally. Prismatic alignment though. And those Void Rays and Carriers say, get the heck out of here. A cannon or two across the middle here would have been really powerful. This is why you want to have cannons in between your bases as well to stop them from having roaming power. And oh my god, that's actually, the Void Ray Carrier was a bit too far away. This was a big mistake from MAXPAX to let him do that. And now he kind of stumbles into a little bit of an awkward fight. I don't think losing the Nexus really matters as much as losing your army though. So I say big mistake. MAXPAX actually made the correct decision there. The only way you lose this game is if you lose your army, guys. Losing a single base is never a game ender in StarCraft, especially if you're on 4 bases. It's not that important. You just rebuild it. It's a minute of not having one of your 4 bases mining. But if you lose your Void Rays right now inefficiently, that's where things get bad. The Prismatic Alignment comes down. He does get 2 Void Rays down. He's still only lost 10 Corruptors. I would have traded so much worse. I mean, the micro, notice he's trying to stack up and pick off these units. Gets one for free. Dark, very well, but he gets another one as well. The way you can move and shoot with these Corruptors is truly, truly impressive, and he is smashing the Void Rays. Oh, MAXPAX is microing real bad, I think. I think he really messed up his micro there. I'm not sure exactly what he should have done. I wouldn't have done much better by any means, but at the end of that, guys, 10 Void Rays, a Nexus, a Carrier, 25 Corruptors. When you were up on about 90 workers for a while, you're very happy with that trade as Dark. Cost for cost, obviously, is not directly efficient, but when you're using Corruptors, that's about as cost efficient as you can ever get. Like, that's actually insanely good. And you add the fact that you're on 10 gases, you're swapping into Great Aspire. So he's preparing for a bit more of a, okay, let's go play a different composition. Let's mix it up. Let's do other things. And you're forcing a lot of Stalkers out of your opponent, which are really shit supply. They're basically dead supply in big battles, right? Blink Stalker is one of the worst units you could possibly have. If he had an Archon or 2 on the ground, definitely that would have helped push back those Corruptors. Just 1 or 2 Archons is going to punish them when they clump up, because as they clump up to try and pick off a Void Ray and dart away, they take 1 Archon hit. It hits every Corruptor for that big splash damage. 39 biological with +1 right now. That can be big. Battery overcharge does come down. These cannons trying to hold firm. Those units need to get over there right now. You got to defend this base. It's time to fight, son. You can't wait any longer. The Zealots will come in. There's not that much Roachling on the ground. This should be a good hold for MAXPAX. Dark's adding Vipers. I don't see a lot of continuation on Dark's composition. Roachlings and Corruptors aren't going to go you know, forever. Vipers will give him a bit of picking off power. He's definitely got a good economic lead and so on, but oh, I do like this. The Prism comes up in. It realized it got spotted by the creep, so he drops the Zealots and just hightails it out of there. The Corruptors are looking for him. They do not find him. Good, cautious play with the Warp Prism. Roach is still trying to be annoying here. If you have enough Zealots, you can kind of just A-move them, but notice that Dark here making the most of the micro ability of those units with Roach speed. The Corruptors are going to find that Warp Prism, though. He thought he was hidden. Dark is going to come in and grab a cheeky Warp Prism snipe. Not too bad. 7 Broodlords are on the way. He's still building Roaches, though. I've got to question that. Where is the Baneling Nest? And where's the second Evo Chamber? I feel like you want to be getting Carapace upgrades since this game's clearly going to go a lot longer. You've got 9 Queens. They need Carapace upgrades. I don't know. I'm not sure. Broodlords. He doesn't have any pathogen glands or anything like that either. Wow, MAXPAX is going to go for a push right now. 2 Disruptors, 11 Void Rays, 8 Stalkers, 2 Carriers, 3 Archons. Those Broodlords coming out just in the nick of time. And it looks like he actually just killed his own building there. Or attacked his own Creep Tumor, maybe? You can, of course, attack your own Creep Tumors just to start throwing those Broodlings from further away. It's a cute technique. Let's see what he does here. Void Ray's going for the snap on the Broodlords, but they decide to change their mind there, and they go after the Corruptors. Is that going to be enough? A big ball comes forward, does not find the money hit. And it looks like that's a pretty good hold there for Dark. Even gets one of the Carriers before the recall can complete. Speed Void Rays. Remember, they do have the Fuck Veins upgrade, guys, so they do move 1 billion miles an hour. A Fuck Veins Void Ray. 4.65 move speed. Just barely slower than a Corruptor, so they are able to just drive home And that's going to be pretty effective. Psystorm, as well as +3 air weapons coming in. And I think MAXPAX realizing he's going to have to play a longer game. MAXPAX likes to do these sort of big timing attack pushes, but Dark is very good at defending, even when he's behind. And I would not say he's behind in this game. It's definitely a scary stage for a lot of Zergs to play to, but he's adding carapace. He's getting a few spine crawlers around. He's taking a 7th base there on the right side, which isn't bad at all. Pathogen glands as well. Yeah, he's preparing to add infestors to his composition. I'd like to see... Ooh, he's only got 11 corruptors though. So he's kind of swapping into a ground squad. The corruptors, especially with Abduct, could snipe down some units. He still doesn't have any overseers. This has honestly been his big problem all game. At least the spore crawlers will finally reveal that. MAXPAX not watching right now. Should be moving that. But that's going to root and he will die. Pervy Boy does go down finally. Pack of roaches on the right side. Big pack of roaches. Could try to cancel this base. Only 3 cannons there. Tempests are now coming out as well. Tempests, of course, outranging all of these units. 15 anti-air range. Their ability to pick off Broodlords, especially from afar, will be huge. They have +2 air weapons and +3 almost kicking in, which does mean, I believe it will be... I think it becomes 4 shots at this point for the Tempest to kill the Broodlords with +3. I think it's 4 shots to kill a Broodlord. Might depend on the armor upgrades, we'll see. Roach is coming in. Trading for cannons right now. Might not seem that good, but Roaches are pretty shit supply, similar to Stalkers at this stage of the game. Queen's Defense and Zealots in the top left. Roach is going to kill a whole lot of probes. This is well worth it for these Roaches. It's a great trade. And Zerg has no business ever being ahead in the units lost tab, guys. But look at that. He's ahead right now. By 1,300 resources, no less. Dark, the efficiency master, doing very well. Zealots go after the Hive. They decide the drones aren't as annoying. The Hive, the ability to build Vipers is huge. 2,500 hit points on that bad boy. 2 more Zealots come in. They will kill these drones. Drones have already killed 1 or 2 Zealots, which is kind of cool, man. But that Hive, and what's he got to defend right now? Broodlords? Queens? He doesn't have anything else. He's literally just trying to build Roaches and send his Roaches back because he doesn't have any mobile units and he doesn't want to lose the left side of the map. So Dark makes a very mature yet hard to make choice to just give up his Hive. It's like, I'll slowly defend it with Roaches popping, I guess. It's a very, very nice snipe for MAXPAX. He does lose a lot of Zealots for it, of course, so it's not free. And does start building Mama. Only 63 probes for MAXPAX, and he's not rebuilding probes. This tells us, guys, that MAXPAX is focusing on winning the next fight. If he doesn't win the next fight, he's probably dead. Now, why is that? That's because Dark has a bigger bank, 4,500 resources backed up, 73 drones. He's got extra fresh bases. MAXPAX only has 1 fresh base. It's not even fully mining. Neither is this one. And because he's not rebuilding his probes, it's telling us, oh, look, you want to have 140 army supply. You want to just crush this fight when it happens. You want to kick ass in that battle, roll over him. Are you still mining behind it? Yes. Will you still eventually bank up? Yes. But if there's a fight in the next 2 minutes, MAXPAX isn't going to be able to go do anything close to a remax. He's going to be able to like rebuild 6 Stalkers and that's it. Carriers will defend these Roaches. Roaches picking off even more probes. He does replace just 1 or 2 of them there. And let's check out this composition, shall we? Oh, he's killing his own Stalkers. Very wise. Like I said, terrible unit for this stage in the game. So he's still got 3 of them, and he's going to send those in just to trade off. So he's got 2 Tempests, 8 Carriers, 7 Void Rays, 2 Archons, 4 High Templar, only 1 Disruptor. Now, I would say the scary thing for this composition is if the High Templar get taken out, you simply lose to the Corruptors, because bit of Parasitic Bomb, bit of Fungal on the Void Rays, and those will get taken down, and there's not that many Void Rays to begin with. And those Carriers, easy pickings for 18 Corruptors, as well as the Tempests on their own. Now, it is just 3-1 air upgrades, +2 air armor does start. Very important to get those air armor upgrades. Neural Parasite on the way for Dark as well. His Roach is still roaming, always active, always putting the pressure on, never makes it easy for MAXPAX. And that creep, it is very slowly but surely coming out across this map. It hasn't been a big focus for Dark as he drops his Ultra Cavern. He's also going melee, Carapace on the ground upgrades, so he will very slowly add in the ground upgrades to get towards those units. He's already got Adrenal, I believe, which means his Zergling's going to be fantastic run-bys, and MAXPAX here going to take the bottom right base. So if he can secure this whole right side, of course, you get 3 bases kind of all as one. Dark already focused on this for the last few minutes of this game. You can see he really focused on securing that top left. MAXPAX will follow and do the same in the bottom right. And from there, Hardwire gets decided by those 2 middle bases, which are very exposed, very hard to hold on to. And neither player has been brave enough to make a play for them. Neither one wants to give... Neither? I say both. Yeah, neither one of them wants to actually take the risk. Because if you take it and you can't hold it, you're just giving your opponent free kills. Like, they're just like, lol, killed a base, lol, killed some drones, and they just take efficient trades. So both guys don't want to expose themselves to that. And instead, we do see Tempest picking off. The Spinecrawler says, hey, Archon, you like some Hentacles? The Archon says, oh, right there, baby. I think that was a mistake. MAXPAX throws a ball at nothing. And he's going to recall. Oh! Mama's trying to recall, but the Corruptors say no. Oh, damn. The recall does not work. He ends up trying to push in here, saying, well, you know, your Corruptors are out of position. Nice fungal on those interceptors. A lot of those went down to the fungal Spore Crawler. And uh-oh, he's getting hunted down. Feedback. Where are the feedbacks? Very slow on the feedbacks there. Big mistake from MAXPAX. Loses 3 of his High Templar, or 2 of his High Templar, sorry. Actually, wait, no. One of them barely survives there. The Corruptor's taking massive hits right now. I don't know if this was a great fight for the Corruptors. It feels like the Void Rays did hammer them. Some of the Broodlords go down, but not too many. The High Templar are gone. Only 13 Corruptors are left. The Void Rays, though. Prismatic Alignment's being used up. Carriers, Tempest, Void Rays are going to make it very hard to engage against that. And Dark, he's taking an ambitious fight here. A Fungal or 2 could definitely help him out. Balls! Oh, ball and 3 more carriers comes in. Oh, this is bad for Dark. This is turning. Those queens are going to go down now. This is turning. Even though most of these carriers are empty, I think this is enough to overwhelm with those Tempests there in the back as well. Yeah, the Corruptors, there's only 4 Corruptors left. He focuses down another one, and these queens will be falling here. This ends up being a pretty decent fight for MAXPAX. I mean, overall, units lost pretty even. It looks like all the ground units dying to the Broodlords at the start was a bummer. Oh, he loses 2 carriers. Oh, no, and he runs 1, 2, 3 Void Rays in. Oh, MAXPAX getting a little bit sloppy here. He does have a Zealot run by on the left side. That will find a little bit of damage, but it just feels like overall cost efficiency is off the chain for Dark. And much like a mad dog let off the chain, you don't want to be anywhere around. It will give you rabies. It will bite your leg. I don't know if you can tame this beast doing it this way. MAXPAX keeps going out there into the open and saying, I will wrestle with you. I'm bigger. He doesn't realize that Dark is a mad dog, and a mad dog that does not fear for its safety is usually going to bite your friggin' hands off. And MAXPAX is saying, no, let's keep going. Momentum. I've refilled most of my interceptors. Let's go. Fight you before you get more energy on those spellcasters. And right now, it doesn't seem like there is a lot of spell energy available. This might actually be what kills him. Oh, the Corruptors dive, though. The carrier's way too deep. Where's the support? A lot of these air units getting blasted. The carriers, I think, went a little too far forward. It felt like maybe MAXPAX was not looking there. And guys, I think Dark is back in it. I think he's going to wipe this army and win this game. And that could eliminate MAXPAX. It would eliminate MAXPAX from this tournament if he can seal the deal. The last air unit's going down. Zealot run by on the left, a DT there. But Big Daddy Ultralist just wants some love. And a Zealot and a Dark Templar, a perfect target. Cleans up the counterattack. Yes, Dark lost some economy, but he's rebuilding the drones now. You can see his economy popping right back up. And of course, what does a Corruptor love to do, guys? Much like a drunk bogan or a British person on holiday overseas, he likes to urinate in public. And unfortunately, if you are a Zerg, your public urination not only smells bad, but it also is caustic as shit, and it can actually literally burn through your opponent's Nexus. So Dark there unzips his fly, does pee all over the Nexus, it goes down. MAXPAX is dead in the water. He's making Blink right now. Now, for those who are wondering, why do people make Blink? Much like when you see a small man try to fight a much larger man, and he tries to scream a lot, take his shirt off, make a lot of noise, and make a lot of hullabaloo, it's kind of like the death throes of a drunk idiot's dignity, you know? Like, you see a small guy picking a fight with a guy you know he has no chance against. Making Blink Stalkers in late game PvZ is like, here's 2 Blink Stalkers. It makes no sense. It doesn't ever do anything. Occasionally you see someone swap into them as a tempo move where both armies trade, but the Protoss has built 20 gateways in preparation, and they warp in as their Void Rays die. Bam, 10 Stalkers. Bam, another 10 Stalkers. Bam, another 10 Stalkers. And suddenly, because they're on top of the Zerg production, they don't let the Zerg rebuild Broodlords. Or Ultras take too long to rebuild, and you kind of kill the Zergs as their units are rebuilding. So there is like a cool tempo move, but when you do it out of desperation like this, it really is just, ooga booga. You know, he starts speaking in tongues or something, hoping the big guy will get more scared of him. Dark in this case, though, as I said, he's a wild rabid dog of a ZvP player. He doesn't afraid of anything, and check out that cost efficiency. How often do you see the Zerg ahead 10,000 resources in late game ZvP? I mean, obviously this comes off I guess, the edge of him winning a few fights, and there is a cascading factor where it goes from a slight advantage to a massive advantage. Because once you win a fight, obviously in the tail end of that, it's kind of like the olden day battles, right? It's like, you know, a very small number die in the actual clash, but it's the moment one side breaks and turns to run, that's when everyone gets absolutely slaughtered. So it's kind of the same in StarCraft to a certain extent. We saw a lot of those flying units go down after the initial engagement, and as he runs them down. MAXPAX is still in the game. This tournament life, of course, hangs in the balance. You're going to hang in there and wait for the opponent to force you out. Dark, for some reason, taking a bit of uncharacteristic chill to build Spore Crawlers right now, maybe giving MAXPAX a bit more credit. So we knew that MAXPAX never rebuilt probes for the last 5 minutes and was sitting on about 60 workers. Dark doesn't know that. Dark might think that he was mining a lot more the whole time, that this base is mined out, that he mined a lot more from this base. So he doesn't realize. He's probably like, yeah, okay, you know, I'll try to push forward, we'll try to do something. But he's being super duper cautious about it because he does not see the fact that MAXPAX is only at 100 supply. Chat pointing out as well that, you know, if they're pure air kind of like this, hey, you get in there with a pack of Blink Stalkers, 20 Blink Stalkers, Blinks under 12 Broodlords, you're going to clean those Broodlords up incredibly efficiently. And that is absolutely the case if there's no Ultra Zergling around or anything like that. Ultra Run-By runs into the bottom right as the Broodlords take out the top left. Void Rays will take out one of those Space Guards, but they are heavily armored beasts, and looks like that one does pop as well. 2 Ultralisks popping there. If you've ever enjoyed popping pimples, can you imagine what it feels like to pop an Ultralisk? It's got to feel good, right? Man. I mean, you do end up painted in their viscera, in their innards, but it's got to feel good if you're that last zealot to go in there and pop a big boy. Juicy. Void Rays are going to go after this as well. Not much to talk about here because obviously, like I said, it's game over. But yeah, I mean, I'm impressed, man. Dark playing a very good patient late game. And MAXPAX struggling to find the kind of situations he wanted to. Oh, feedbacks and some good Psy Storms land on the Corruptors. Managed to get 50 hit points off the vast majority of those Corruptors. Of course, they didn't sit in Storm for too long, but still not bad. Now, for those wondering, guys, Zerglings kick the shit out of Zealots. Now, especially in these scenarios where the Protoss only has +2 attack, no armor upgrades, no +3. If you've got Adrenal and anything similar to them in terms of the upgrades, like right now there's +2 Carapace, which cancels out the +2 attack, which means the Zealots take 3 hits to kill them. Even though you've only got +1 melee, you destroy these battles. And when you get 3/3 Adrenal Gland Zerglings versus Zealots like that, I mean, they just do insane amounts of damage. +2 melee kicks in. Battery Overcharge trying to keep the gateway up. Void Rays are like, come on, get out of here. They clean that up, but here comes Dark's mass of Broodlord Corruptor. Infest is fantastic there. Gonna push forward. Ultra's once again going for a run-by on the bottom right side. MAXPAX has Mama and a harem of Chads, and Mama says, all right, Chads, I know you've been spoiled your whole life. You've had it easy, praying one-on-one on Corruptors and that sort of shit, picking off Overlords, but it's time to show what you're made of. It's time each one of you needs to take down 3 Corruptors, 2 Infestors, and 2 Broodlords, okay? Show us. Come on, show us. Show us how it's done! Yeah! The fungal growth immediately slaps down. Parasitic bomb right in the juicy center of mass. And those Void Rays take a one-way trip to Dicktown. A slaughter at the end of that game, as expected. Of course, a massive unit advantage there for Dark, but a fantastic way to keep himself alive in this group. He's going to go through to play against Clem. And that is going to decide the final player out of this group.